Imagine reaching into your pocket for some spare change and realizing you're holding a coin worth over $243,000. That's right, a simple 2020 Lincoln penny, a coin you might dismiss as just 1 cent, could actually transform you into a millionaire overnight. Today, we're diving deep into the story of this incredible penny, its history, how to spot it, and why collectors are willing to pay life-changing money for it. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your change drawer, your piggy bank, or even under your couch cushions. The Lincoln cent, first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, has become one of the most iconic coins in American history. Over the years, it's gone through several design changes, from the classic Wheatear's reverse to the Lincoln Memorial, and now the Union Shield design that we see on modern pennies. The 2020 penny comes from the Denver Mint, marked by that tiny D mint mark just under the year on the obverse side of the coin. More than 7 billion pennies were struck that year alone. But here's the kicker: even among billions of coins, a few rare examples stand out due to errors, condition, and unique features. And that's what makes the difference between a 1 cent coin and a $243,000 jackpot. So why is this coin so valuable? A few key reasons. Some 2020 pennies left the mint with striking errors, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubled dies. These errors make them incredibly rare and highly sought after. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in top condition, MS67, MS68, or even higher, can fetch astronomical prices. A flawless strike with no scratches or blemishes can turn an ordinary coin into a 6-figure treasure. With millions of coin collectors worldwide, modern-era pennies have surged in popularity. Everyone wants to own a piece of modern U.S. mint history. And when demand exceeds supply, prices shoot up. That's how we get a seemingly common 2020 penny skyrocketing in value, with auction results proving collectors are willing to pay $243,000 or more for the rarest examples. In recent years, we've seen modern pennies sell for shocking amounts. A pristine 2020 penny with an error was reported to sell for over $243,000 at auction, and others have gone for tens of thousands depending on the condition and uniqueness of the strike. Now think about it. If you've got a 2020 penny sitting in your jar of change, and it happens to be in nearly perfect condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Collectors are constantly scouring eBay, heritage auctions, and coin shows for high-grade examples. And with the market for rare coins only growing stronger, this coin's value could continue to climb. So, how can you tell if your 2020 penny is worth life-changing money? Here's what to look for. Make sure your coin has the D mint mark under the date. That confirms it was struck at the Denver Mint. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Coins with full luster, no scratches, and sharp detail are worth sending for grading. Look closely for doubling on the lettering, like Liberty or In God We Trust, off-center strikes, or unusual marks. If your coin looks promising, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for an official grade. A penny that might fetch $50 raw could explode in value to thousands once graded MS68 or higher. Think about it. How many times have you ignored pennies on the ground, or left them in a cup holder? That 1 cent could actually be the key to a 6-figure payday. People have literally become rich overnight by discovering rare pennies in circulation. Finding a 2020 penny in top condition could mean paying off your mortgage, buying your dream car, or even setting yourself up for early retirement. And that's why coin hunting is one of the most exciting hobbies in the world, because at any moment, your spare change could make you a millionaire. Billions of pennies enter circulation every year, and most people never bother to check them. The 2020 penny has been found in everyday circulation, in change from grocery stores, banks, even vending machines. That means the possibility is real. Your chance of finding one may be slim, but it's definitely not impossible. And the thrill of the hunt is what keeps collectors motivated. So the next time you get a penny and change, don't dismiss it. Check the year, check the mint mark, and check for errors. Because the difference between 1 cent and $243,000 could be sitting right in the palm of your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And remember, one coin, one moment, one discovery could make you a millionaire overnight. Happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Have you ever looked at the pennies jingling in your pocket or lying forgotten in a jar at home and thought, these are just worthless little copper-colored coins? Well, let me tell you something shocking. One single penny, a 1989 Lincoln cent, the same kind you've probably seen thousands of times, has been reported to sell in circulation condition for an unbelievable $244,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent turning someone into a millionaire overnight. Today we're diving deep into the incredible story, the history, the errors, and the market value of the 1989 Lincoln penny, and why collectors are going absolutely crazy for this coin. So grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you might just discover you're sitting on a fortune. The Lincoln penny has been an icon of U.S. coinage since 1909 when it was first struck to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real person. Fast forward to 1989, the Denver Mint struck millions of pennies with the little D mint mark beneath the date. Most of these coins were made of copper-plated zinc, following the composition change in 1982 when the mint moved away from solid copper because of rising metal prices. Now, here's where things get interesting. Although billions of pennies were minted, only a tiny fraction came out with unusual errors or in conditions so pristine that they're worth an absolute fortune today. You're probably asking yourself, if billions of these pennies exist, why is one worth $244,000? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and errors. Some 1989 pennies came out with doubling on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. These doubled die errors can skyrocket value. Others might have off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or even planchet errors that make them unique. Collectors are obsessed with mint state, condition coins, especially those graded MS67 or MS68 by PCGS or NGC. A flawless coin with full luster and zero scratches can go from pocket change to life-changing money. 1989 marks the 80th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent series. That milestone year draws in more attention from serious collectors, pushing prices up even higher. Let's talk real money, because this is where your jaw will drop. Imagine walking into a coin shop with a penny you found in your pocket and walking out with enough money to buy a brand new car, or even a house. That's the reality for some lucky finders. So, how do you know if that penny in your hand is worth $244,000 or just 1 cent? Here's what you need to look for. Look for the small D beneath 1989. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, especially on the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust. Off-center strikes or coins that look misaligned can be rare. The shinier and less damaged the coin, the more valuable it can be. No scratches, no discoloration, full details. Some transitional error pennies are struck on the wrong metal planchet. If your penny weighs differently than the standard 2.5 grams, it could be a jackpot find. You might still be wondering, why would anyone pay $244,000 for a penny? The truth is, coin collecting is one of the oldest and most respected hobbies in the world, often called the hobby of kings. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even museums are constantly competing for the rarest coins. Think of it this way: rarity plus demand equals value. Just like art collectors pay millions for a painting, coin collectors pay fortunes for unique coins. Now here's the kicker: pennies like the 1989 aren't just collectibles, they're also investments. With the coin market booming, rare U.S. cents have been breaking records year after year. Some collectors buy these coins as a way to diversify their investments, knowing the value can climb even higher in the future. A penny today could be worth a fortune tomorrow. And with stories like the $244,000 sale, you can see why people are raiding their piggy banks. So, what should you do if you think you've got a valuable 1989 D penny? Put it aside immediately. Get a magnifier and check for errors or unusual features. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can boost its value dramatically. Look at sites like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers to see what similar coins are selling for. Sometimes the value of rare coins increases over time, so your penny might be worth even more in the future. So there you have it. The humble 1989 D Lincoln penny, a coin most people overlook, has the power to transform someone into a millionaire overnight. From its rich history to its jaw-dropping auction prices, this little coin proves that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Next time you get a penny and change, don't just toss it aside. Look at the date. Check for the D. Who knows? That 1-cent coin in your hand might just be your ticket to a $244,000 payday. So start checking those pennies. Your fortune could be sitting right in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about rare coins worth thousands or even millions, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss another upload. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found an unusual penny? You could be holding the next big discovery. What if that little brown coin sitting at the bottom of your drawer, the one you almost ignored, could actually make you a millionaire overnight? Today, we're talking about the 1988 Lincoln penny, a coin that has shocked collectors and made headlines for being worth as much as $232,000. Yes, you heard that right, just 1 cent turning into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you might just be checking every single penny in your wallet, purse, or piggy bank. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, originally to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. For decades, collectors have chased down rare dates, mint marks, and era coins in the Lincoln series. Now, fast forward to 1988, a year that doesn't immediately stand out for coin collectors. Millions of pennies were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. To most people, they seemed like just another year of common pocket change. But here's the twist. Within the sea of ordinary coins, there were a few rare transitional design errors that turned ordinary copper-plated zinc pennies into collectors' goldmines. So why 1988? Well, around this time, the U.S. Mint was making subtle changes to the Lincoln cent design. Specifically, there were differences in the reverse design, the spacing, the lettering, and the initials at the base of the Lincoln Memorial. Some coins struck in 1988 accidentally used a 1989 reverse die, creating what's known to collectors as the 1988 penny reverse variety, or the 1988 transitional reverse penny. What makes the 1988 penny worth so much money is this very error. On the surface, it looks like any other coin. But if you flip it over and look closely, you'll see the initials, FG, standing for designer Frank Gasparo, appear slightly different. On the 1988 era coins, the reverse die actually came from 1989, which has a distinct style in the FG initials. This mistake slipped past the Mint's quality control, and only a tiny handful ever made it into circulation. Imagine the odds. You've got billions of ordinary pennies, and hidden among them are just a few that can make you rich. That's why coin collectors go absolutely crazy for these. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but how much are we talking about? Well, a verified 1988 penny with the transitional reverse error in top condition has sold for over $20,000, $30,000 at major auctions. But here's where things get wild. One rare specimen, in near-perfect condition with professional grading, skyrocketed in value and reached as high as $232,000 when collectors battled over it. That's how competitive the coin market can be. One man's spare change becomes another man's fortune. So where are these coins hiding today? The answer is, everywhere and nowhere. The 1988 penny is still technically in circulation. That means it could be sitting in a cash register, hiding in your old coin jar, or tucked away inside your grandma's cookie tin. People often think valuable coins are only found in fancy collections, but in reality, some of the greatest discoveries happen in everyday life. Imagine this: you go to the store, buy a soda, and the cashier hands you back a penny in your change. It's scratched, maybe dirty, maybe looks like it's been around forever. But under that wear and tear could be a six-figure payday waiting to be recognized. And here's the crazy part: most people who handle these pennies have no idea they're worth more than face value. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where things get real. A regular 1988 penny, the kind you see all the time, is worth just 1 cent. But when you factor in the transitional reverse error and a high-quality condition, the value climbs dramatically. Grading is everything. Coin grading looks at the coin's luster, strike quality, and overall preservation. The scale goes from poor P1 all the way up to mint state 70, MS 70. Most of the big money is in coins that grade MS 65 and above. So if you find one, don't just toss it into your coin jar, get it graded. That lit collectors love stories, and auction houses have plenty when it comes to the 1988 penny. One example surfaced at an auction where two bidders went head-to-head, both determined not to let the other walk away with it. The final hammer price? Over $200,000. Another story involves a collector who found his coin tucked away in a box of old change that he had inherited from his father. To him, it was just sentimental value, until he had it appraised and realized he was sitting on a six-figure gem. He turned an ordinary box of pennies into life-changing money. Now let's talk about the investment angle. Rare coins like the 1988 penny are more than just collector's items. They're tangible assets. They tend to appreciate over time, especially as more collectors enter the market and chase down key varieties. While not every penny is going to be worth $232,000, the potential for high returns makes coin collecting an exciting and sometimes very lucrative hobby. People who once dismissed coins as just pocket change now realize that they can be as profitable as real estate, stocks, or gold. The big difference? You might already own the investment, you just haven't checked your pocket yet.so. If you're watching this and thinking, how do I know if I have the rare 1988 penny? Here's your guide. On the rare variety, they'll appear further away from the Lincoln Memorial Building and with a more distinct shape. These details can be tiny, and you don't want to miss them. The cleaner and more original the coin looks, the higher the value. Professional grading by PCGS or NGC will give you official certification, which collectors trust when buying high-value coins. The 1988 Lincoln penny is proof that treasure is hiding in plain sight. Right now, you could be holding on to a penny worth more than most people make in a year, or even a decade. And the best part? You don't need to spend thousands to find one. Just start looking at the change you already have.so. The next time you think a penny is worthless, remember this story. That little coin could be your ticket to becoming a $232,000 millionaire overnight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1988 Lincoln penny, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden coin treasure stories, and share this video with friends. You never know who might be holding a fortune in their pocket. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found an unusual penny or coin in your change? Thanks for watching, and remember, check your change, because you just might be rich already. What if I told you that a simple penny from 1987, yes, a coin you might still have sitting in a jar, a wallet, or maybe rattling around in your car's cup holder, could make you instantly rich? Imagine pulling out a 1987 Lincoln penny, only to find out that collectors today are willing to pay as much as $245,000 for the right one. That's not just pocket change, that's life-changing money. A coin so common, so ordinary looking, yet hiding extraordinary value. Stay with me, because in this video we're diving deep into the history, varieties, grading secrets, and shocking auction results of the 1987 Lincoln penny. But let's start with a little history. The 1987 Lincoln 1-cent coin is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which began in 1959 and ran all the way until 2008. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse or front of the coin proudly displays President Abraham Lincoln's profile, just as it has since 1909. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo. But here's what makes the 1987 penny extra interesting. It was struck during the copper-plated zinc era. From 1909 to 1982, pennies were mostly made of 95% copper. But after 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to using cheaper zinc with a thin copper coating. That means the 1987 penny is mostly zinc inside, with a copper-plated shell. In circulation, it looks like every other memorial cent, but here's the truth: the devil is in the details. So why would anyone pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a coin you could once get in change from a soda machine? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and errors. Most 1987 pennies are scratched, dull, and worn down because they circulated for decades. But in rare cases, some pennies survive in pristine, almost flawless condition. These are called mint state coins and are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. When a 1987 penny is found in ultra-high grade, think MS68 or MS69 red, RD, collectors go wild. Why? Because out of billions minted, only a handful exist that perfect. This is where it gets even more exciting. Certain 1987 pennies have rare minting errors that make them unique, where the lettering or Lincoln's profile shows doubling. Coins that were struck off-center, making them appear odd. Pennies missing a chunk of metal. Asterisk struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a 1987 penny accidentally struck on a dime blank. Now that's rare and valuable. It's these strange and rare accidents that can send the price of a penny soaring from 1 cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where your jaw will drop. While the average worn 1987 penny is literally worth just face value, a near perfect graded example has shocked collectors at auctions. Some specimens in MS69 RD have reportedly fetched upwards of $20,000 to $40,000. But here's the kicker: unique varieties with dramatic errors, combined with pristine condition, have been valued at as much as $245,000 in today's coin market. Think about that for a second. A penny worth less than a stick of gum could become your ticket to $250,000. That's how people get rich overnight with coins. So, how do you know if your 1987 penny is a treasure or just another common coin? Here's what you need to do. The 1987 penny was struck at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S proof coins. Rare proof coins and high-grade Denver strikes are especially collectible. Look closely at the date, the lettering, and Lincoln's features. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Doubling, misalignments, or missing pieces could spell big money. Collectors love red pennies, which means the coin has retained its original bright copper luster. Brown or dull pennies are worth less. Even the smallest scratch can drop a coin's value by thousands. If you find a shiny, uncirculated example, protect it immediately in a coin holder. Coin collectors and investors see coins like the 1987 Lincoln penny as more than just money. They see them as pieces of American history and art. With millions of people searching for treasures in their spare change, demand keeps growing. And with demand comes skyrocketing prices. Remember, only a tiny fraction of 1987 pennies are worth six figures. But those lucky finds are what fuel the excitement. Every time you get change, you have a chance, however slim, to strike it rich. Now imagine this: you're digging through an old coin jar, maybe at your grandparents' house or even from your childhood piggy bank. You find a shiny 1987 penny. At first, it looks like every other cent. But after a closer look, you notice doubling in the lettering, or maybe it's perfectly preserved without a scratch. You send it off for grading, and it comes back a MS69 red with a major error. Suddenly, you're holding a coin that could fetch $245,000 at auction. That's not just a nice bonus, that's life-changing money. Enough to pay off debts, buy a home, or even set you up for life. All from a coin most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the sidewalk. So the next time you get change back from the store, don't ignore those pennies. Check the dates. Check the details. Because your 1987 Lincoln penny might just be the one that turns you into a millionaire overnight. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting secrets. Who knows? The next fortune could be sitting in your pocket right now. This has been your guide to the unbelievable value of the 1987 Lincoln penny. Proof that sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the biggest fortune. Keep searching, keep collecting, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own $1 million penny. What if I told you that a single penny, a coin worth just 1 cent when it left the mint in 1974, could today be worth over $234,000? Yes, you heard that right. A coin you might have walked past on the sidewalk, a coin sitting in your piggy bank, or even one you received in change from a store, could actually make you a millionaire overnight. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1974 Lincoln penny. We'll uncover its history, the hidden varieties, why collectors pay life-changing money for certain examples, and how you can check your own pocket change for this treasure. So sit tight, because this little copper coin might just be your golden ticket to riches. Let's rewind to the year 1974. The United States was going through major changes. Inflation was high, the price of copper was skyrocketing, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to find cheaper alternatives for producing coins. Up until then, pennies were made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But with the price of copper rising dramatically, the cost of making a penny was getting dangerously close to its own face value. Imagine that. It cost almost 1 cent just to make a 1-cent coin. So, the mint began experimenting with new metals. And that's where things get very interesting. In 1974, the U.S. Mint struck millions of regular copper pennies. But they also secretly produced a limited number of experimental pennies struck in aluminum. Only a few dozen of these aluminum test pennies were distributed to members of Congress for review, but the public wasn't supposed to get them. However, as history shows, not all of them made their way back to the mint. Some slipped into circulation, and that's where the legend of the 1974 penny begins. Most 1974 pennies you'll find are copper. They're worth about 1 cent or maybe a few dollars if they're in pristine, uncirculated condition. But the special varieties are what collectors go crazy for. This is the Holy Grail. Extremely rare, believed to be only a handful still in existence today. These coins were never officially released, which makes them illegal to own in some cases, but when they surface in auctions, they bring six-figure bids. Some pennies were struck with unusual compositions, off-metal strikes, or experimental blends. These are worth big money depending on rarity. Even the regular copper coins, when found in flawless, mint state, condition, graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. And here's the kicker. One of these coins has been valued at over $234,000, making it one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin collecting. Let me give you some jaw-dropping auction examples that prove the hype is real. A 1974 aluminum Lincoln cent was once offered at auction and estimated at nearly $250,000 before legal disputes halted the sale. That shows just how much collectors were willing to pay. High-grade 1974 copper pennies have sold in the $10,000, $20,000 range, and prices keep climbing as fewer pristine examples remain. Even era pennies from 1974, such as double-die strikes or off-center strikes, have been auctioned for several $1,000s. So yes, that penny sitting in your change jar could literally change your life. Now the million-dollar question. How do you know if you have one of these special 1974 pennies? Copper pennies have the traditional reddish-brown look. Aluminum pennies are a lighter, silvery color, very different from normal. Double-die errors, off-center strikes, or unusual metal tones can all mean big money. Even a common 1974 penny in perfect, mint state, condition could be worth thousands. If it looks flawless, It's worth submitting to a grading service like CoinGrading plays a massive role in the value of the 1974 penny. Professional grading agencies rank coins on a 70-point scale, with MS70 being perfect. Remember, collectors are always willing to pay more for coins with great eye appeal, no scratches, and strong luster. The 1974 penny isn't just a coin, it's an investment. Rare coins have historically outperformed many traditional investments like gold or stocks, especially when it comes to unique era coins and experimental issues. Collectors are drawn to the 1974 penny because of its fascinating history, its experimental aluminum version, and its rarity. The story behind it, a coin that was never supposed to exist in circulation, only fuels its mystique and value. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, or the next time you roll pennies from your piggy bank, take a closer look. That 1974 Lincoln penny you're holding might not just be worth 1 cent. It might be worth $234,000 or more. Check the weight, check the metal, check for errors, and if you think you've found something special, don't spend it. Get it graded, get it appraised, and who knows, you might be the next overnight millionaire, all thanks to a tiny copper coin. This is why coin collecting is so exciting: history, rarity, and big money all packed into the smallest piece of change. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and share this with anyone who loves treasure hunts. Because you never know, the next millionaire could be watching this right now.